ladies and gentlemen, to It Came From DC Comics here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, I'm checking out a movie from 2009. That movie is Wonder Woman. Now, this one here, guys, is kind of sort of an interesting case, you see. When I first announced at the start of this year that I was going to dedicate an entire month to DC Comics animated films, I was hit with a ton of messages listing off all of the good DC animated films, which apparently is almost all of them. And a whole lot of those messages also would tell me what everyone saw was what everyone saw as the worst film in the in this entire run of direct-to-video animated films. And almost all of them would cite this one as the worst. Now, I have no idea if that means that it's, like, genuinely bad. I don't know if that means it's just not as good as everything else. I can tell you going in, I'm not the biggest fan of Wonder Woman as a character. However, that has never stopped me from liking movies in the past. After all, I am not a fan of Thor, and I like both Thor movies, and I liked the first Iron Man movie, even though I'm not a fan of Iron Man. Still haven't seen the Iron Man sequels. That's why I can't comment on those. So there is still hope here. I really do want this thing, guys, to be good, and the only way I'm going to find out is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Wonder Woman. Wow. Alright, guys, so I just saw her behead a Birdman in mid-flight using only her tiara. That was fucking awesome. Okay, I have a question. It's probably going to be kind of a stupid one, but I'm going to ask anyway. So, they have had Ares prisoner for centuries. Ares, who is the god of war. He has been held prisoner by the Amazons for centuries. He has had all of his power stripped completely from him. So if there is no god of war, why is there still war? I kind of thought that if you didn't have a god of war, then war would no longer be a, manifestation of man. Perhaps, honestly, I'm thinking way too hard about that. It's just, I was just thinking about it, and it's kind of bugging me a little bit. So, wait a sec. So, the Amazons just randomly had a fucking stealth, jet. Okay, I totally understand that has always been a part of Wonder Woman's character. I kind of assumed that she got it when she joined the Air Force. I didn't know it was a gift from the Amazons when she left Paradise Island. At what point did the Amazons have the tech to build a fucking invisible jet? I'm kind of curious now. So, hold on a minute here. So, Deimos had, a beard made of snakes. The venom from the snakes killed him. But the snakes are part of his body. Wouldn't he already be immune to his own venom, I guess? The fuck just happened there? Okay. It is certainly awesome to see the Amazons come in and try to save the day. I'd kind of like to know how the fuck they even knew where Ares was going to mass his troops. Because the whole fucking planet, I really would not imagine Ares gathering everybody in front of the Lincoln fucking Memorial, and I don't even think that the Amazons would have known what the fuck that even is. I really do hope that they answer this, guys. Well, guys, that was Wonder Woman. Let's shut that off. Okay, I would like to say I really liked the cameo at the very end of the film involving Cheetah. I thought that was a really nice touch. Now, let's talk about the movie itself. First of all, as I stated at the very start of this video, when I said I was going to do a DC movie month, almost everybody warned me about this one and said that this thing is the worst that DC has put out, and I'm going to tell you right now, it most certainly isn't. I personally found it to be very solid. I will say I found it a little bit more fun than, say, Superman and Batman Public Enemies, but it is still a good film. It does have flaws, and I am going to cover a couple of those. Actually, I'm hoping to cover most of them. But it honestly is not as bad as most people were making it out to be. Why don't we start with the writing? Because there was one thing I was kind of dreading going into this, because I had a feeling it was going to be a Wonder Woman. It was going to be a Wonder Woman origin film, and as a character, she has had a couple of different origins. Certain ones are kind of cool, other ones are kind of stupid. I wasn't sure which one they were going to go with here, and they went with her more classic, well-known origin, and they did it very, very well. I am really pleased with how they told her origin story. And unlike characters like Batman, Spider-Man, and Superman, where every single person on the planet who knows anything about comics knows their origin, not many people know about Wonder Woman's origin, so this one was kind of justified, especially if they were ever going to make sequels. And they probably won't, because it's been what now, about 6 years. Yeah, I really don't think we are going to see a sequel to this. However, it was good to make a movie showing us Wonder Woman's origin. And the story beyond just her, origin, which basically is about Ares breaking out and regaining his power and essentially getting fucking ready to take over the gods by siphoning all of the fear and all of the hatred off of people, which is spurned by war. All of that was totally cool. But that kind of sort of leads to one of my issues when it comes to the writing is right at the very start. Zeus and Hera essentially put these they basically put these like gauntlets on Ares, which strips him of all of his power, turning him into a mortal. Okay, that's totally fine. Why is it then that we still have war if the fucking god of war is powerless? That was something I mentioned earlier. But also, why is it that if he still has these bands, if he still doesn't have his power, why is it then that when he's walking past the minions he has gathered on Earth as he's trying to regain his power, why is it that every time he walks past them, violence just sort of seems to happen instantly, as if Ares' presence just immediately sparks violence in people, which almost sounds like a power that he would have, but he couldn't have had because he had the bands which stripped him of all of his power. You see, it's just kind of sort of like a weird little, issue I have, and it's a really minor one, but god damn it, I feel like mentioning it. Another one I have to mention is Wonder Woman's jet, because she is given her legendary invisible jet in order to leave Paradise Island, Themyscira, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But there is no story as to why the Amazons have it. Now, you could probably try to say that they were able to re-fucking purpose Steve fucking Trevor's jet when it crashed, but that would only work if the jet looked like Trevor's, jet. It has a completely different fucking hull, and the cockpit is totally laid out, differently. It is a completely different jet. And considering the fact that the Amazons do not have any other kind of high-end tech, and that they've been on this island for centuries, long before jets were ever a thing, why the hell do they have it? When the hell did they get it? How the fuck did they build it? I'm really curious, and they never explain it. One other thing, and this is a real minor spoiler, at the very end, Ares is getting fucking ready to wage his fucking war, and all of a sudden the Amazons come, and the Amazons come roaring in. How the hell did they know that Ares was even in Washington? How the hell, I mean, was it, now, would it happen to be because he went into the underworld and Hades was able to take off his bands? Was it just simply the fact that Ares' presence kind of sort of sparked, you know, something in all of the Amazons that told him, hey, he's here? Because, guys, it is a big, big world. There is no way the Amazons would have just randomly went, I know, Washington. Because when their fucking island was made, Washington was not a thing. You see, guys, and it really is just those, like, minor things that could ultimately bother, you know, people as long as they think about it a little bit too long, which is a problem that I have. I really like to overthink things. However, though, when you look past those, you know, flaws, the film here, the story is incredibly solid, and it's totally worth checking out. Our characters here are fleshed out beautifully. Our characters actually have depth. Our story here is fascinating and cool. The only thing that kind of sort of, you know, like, stumbles it a little bit would have to be those few minor writing glitches, I'm just going to call them, because they could have totally been fixed, they could have totally been explained in film, and they weren't. And it really just sort of leaves you, kind of sort of wondering, and it really does just kind of sort of take what was ultimately a fun film, and it just sort of brings it fucking down slightly. Dialogue here is really good. Humor here, and the humor in this film is really sharp. I really liked it. So guys, writing here is great, albeit kind of flawed. What about the acting? The acting here is top-notch stuff, guys. I seriously, guys, could probably count on one hand the number of poorly fucking given lines. And it really wasn't bad because the actor wasn't trying. It was bad because because those were like the few lines of dialogue that really sucked. And there was no way that any actor would have been able to have given those readings justice or life. So I honestly am going to blame that on just slightly dodgy fucking writing on just a small handful of lines, and not on the fact that these actors weren't trying, because these here are actors who have awesome dialogue. Or rather, actors who give fantastic performances for the rest of the film, and then they just stumble on this one line because the line is so clumsily written. So yeah, guys, the acting here is really good. Animation here is really solid. I wanna touch on blood for just a moment. I totally understand that this is going to sound weird, but this movie doesn't have enough blood, and I know that sounds weird, and I know that's it does. It totally sounds weird, but just allow me to explain. This movie has tons and tons of combat, stab wounds, arrows, beheadings. Most of that comes up with zero blood. And what's kind of weird is that we have other scenes where people are nicked with swords and they are bleeding, or say, you know, like Diana's hit and then she is bleeding out of her mouth, or, you know, all this other stuff, you know, and we have blood here. It's just that, I am sorry, but when you run somebody through with a fucking sword and then their lifeless corpse goes and it slides off of the blade, and the blade is completely clean, it doesn't look right. Seriously, guys, I am not saying that we have to have more fucking blood because I am a gorehound. I'm saying that we need more blood because it would have been a bit more realistic and it would have made more sense. And goddammit, your movie is rated PG fucking 13. You could have totally had a little bit more blood. Your rating would have completely allowed it. I understand, guys, once more, that sounds really odd that I am bitching about a lack of blood, but it's just, it kind of sort of kills a little bit of the fucking realism the movie was trying to build. Well, you know, realism that also has fucking, like, demons and Pegasi and Amazons and invisible jets. Shut up, goddammit, I mean it, there is fucking realism here. Sound mix here is done very, very well. Music here, music here is done very, very well. Everything here, guys, works minus honestly just a couple of dodgy points in terms of writing, and because of that, I can totally recommend this movie, guys. I never really thought I would ever say that I liked a Wonder Woman movie, but god damn it, I totally do. This thing is really good as long as you can look past the very small hand fucking full of flaws the movie has. It's totally worth checking out, and I can highly recommend it. Now, Wonder Woman came off of the Amazon wish list. The person who sent it in was Ariel, not a, girl. He still wants me to insist on that. You can find his YouTube channel at youtube.com/user/TVBRobotnikReturns. And Ariel, I thank you. Sorry, Ariel, not a girl. I thank you. I had no idea if this thing was going to be any fucking good. It wound up being a hell of a lot better than I seriously thought it was going to be. I was pleasantly surprised. I wouldn't have known if it wasn't for you. And dude, I thank you for that. Once more, that is youtube.com/user/TVBRobotnikReturns. Returns. Now, as is the way with all of these DC animated films, they have, for bonus features, a bunch of episodes of Justice League. I'm going to go and watch those because, god damn it, I still really like Justice League. Anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.